Okay, boys, girls, and those who are still undecided. We're going to do something that we don't normally do, because usually we fix things because we have lots of broken things, but I have been playing gigs with my band, who's really awesome, and I haven't been fixing a lot of things that are tremendously interesting to the music channel, but this is interesting to the music channel because it's a stomp box, a little stomp box. This is one of these little tiny mini stomp box things. You can't put a battery in it, you gotta plug it in, but that's okay. Input, output, on off thing. This is a Tomsline Engineering, aka generic badged one from China that you can buy under 3 different brand names. Octpus, which is basically it's a octave synthesizer, okay? And you have 3 different modes. You have, if you put it in the middle, you have basically your knobs. You have your dry signal, your original signal of your instrument, octave 1, which in the middle position will be an octave lower, and you have an octave higher. So you have low, 1 octave down, 1 octave up. If you put it in this position, you have 1 octave up, 2 octaves up. And if you put this one down here, you have 1 octave down and 2 octaves down. So that's how it works. And you turn it on and it's supposed to generate another octave and give you a wider sound. So makes your bass more bassy, or makes your guitar sound like a bass, or can make your 6-string guitar sound like a 12-string guitar. So let's check this out and see how it actually works. Okay, so for this sound experiment we will be using a Rickenbacker guitar and the Braddock guitar amp. The Braddock is chosen because it gives a pretty straightforward tone and doesn't have any effects or anything to color the sound up. So here is our bass line sound. Okay, so if we hook up this octave thing and give it an octave up only, if I only give it an octave up, it should sound just like a 12-string. Let's see if it does. Okay, so I've got the Powerhouse V there, and I've got the Octopus thing plugged in. Let's see if any magic happens with 1 octave up. That sounds exactly like a 12-string Rickenbacker. I'm amazed. No, I'm not. I'm trolling the heck out of you. That Octopus is turned on, but it's not plugged in. That's what a real 12-string sounds like. Yeah, I switched guitars on y'all. I did that for hopefully humor's sake and to demonstrate at least what a real 12-string sounds like. As you can tell, the octaves are a little bit more subdued because it's a thinner string, but it's definitely there, especially on the upstrokes. So this is a real 12-string guitar. Now let's see how the Octopus emulates a 12-string guitar with a 6-string guitar. Okay, so no more tricks. The octavizer here is hooked up, and we have set for 1 octave up. That is set to about 30% of its volume, and the original dry signal is set to 75. That's close to what I think the balance is naturally on these guitars. Let's try that same thing and hear what synthesized 12-string sounds like. might be a little too much octave. Let's try to back that down just a little bit more to maybe 20-something% and bring a little bit more dry in. Let's see if that helps. I feel like I've kind of lost it a little bit, but you get the idea. If I bring it in very strong, it sounds to me a bit too warbly and overpowering. Totally fake. So let's take that back to the 20-30% mark like we had it, and let's try bringing in an octave down. We'll bring that in at a little bit more since it's lower. We'll see what happens. So this is supposed to have an octave down and an octave up. Well, it's definitely there. I don't know how useful it is though. Maybe on signal notes. So instead of one note, I get three. Now, the other thing that's kind of weird about this is how it tracks. It tracks a little slow. So let me turn my dry signal off entirely. So all you'll be hearing are the octaves generated by this thing. So the original note that the guitar is playing isn't even going to be there. We're going to have an octave higher and an octave lower. I don't know what to think of that. We can try the 2 octaves up mode. See how that goes. We'll put the 1 octave up and 2 octave up both at like 25-30%, and then we'll bring our dry signal in at about 60. See what that sounds like. What's funny is just touching the strings, I can hear this goofy little thing tracking. It sounds like something from another planet. Let's try just listening to the octaves by itself and see how it tracks. So we'll turn the dry signal off and we'll turn off octave 2, and we'll just listen to 1 octave above where I was supposed to be. All right, and now 2 octaves. Okay, that's already killing my brain. Okay, so let's play with octave down. Let's try just no dry signal, 1 octave down. It sort of does a baritone guitar. You can hear the time it takes to track. It takes a little bit of time to come in with the notes. So trying to use it to push everything an octave down just ends up sounding like mud. It doesn't sound much like a bass to me. And despite the fact that the amp probably won't be able to do anything with it. Let's try to listen to what that sounds like 2 octaves down, and we'll go halfway up the neck here. We'll play it. We'll play our scale here from about the 10th fret. So it kind of works. Let's try putting both of those together and see what happens. That actually sounds kind of cool. I just wish it wasn't so lackadaisical on tracking. We'll bring a little bit of dry signal in, and then we should have all 3 octaves here. So at this point, I like it pushing things down better than I like them pushing up. It's a little slow on the draw, but this might be particularly useful for a bass. We'll try it with a bass, but I think this is probably the most honest review we can do of this. You know, you see so many people who are professional musicians will pull out a piece of gear and they'll play something amazing on it, and for all we know, the only thing that sounds amazing is the thing they played on it. So this is kind of a real-time check-out observation of it. But effectively what you have is on your switch you can go down 2, up 1, down 1, or up 2. You have first octave, second octave, dry signal, and you blend it together. And it does things, and it makes noise. So we'll try this on the bass, and maybe we'll take it apart if we get curious. But let's try and see if this is really going to sound like a 12-string again. Let's see how that compares, and then we'll actually listen to the real 12-string again on our way out the door. That's about the best I think I can make this thing sound with the octave up. And then we'll go back to the real 12-string and then we'll compare, and then we'll say goodbye. And here's the real deal, 12-string. So there we go. But that works. That's what it is. That's a Tomsline Octpus pedal. What do you think of it? I haven't decided what I think about it. I don't hate it. I think it's cool. It's not tremendously expensive. But I'm curious if recorded or on video if it's going to have the same sort of weird electronica spaceship noise that I can hear naturally. Don't know. I don't know. I think I'll just use a 12-string when I want it to sound like a 12-string.